Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel and an update video on my 2016 C450 AMG. It's been a few months since I last posted, and as you can see I have made some changes to the car over the winter. I think the last video I had for you guys was the silver C43 forged wheels, which I'd been looking for a very long time. And I had them on the car for a few months, and these Vossen wheels came up for sale. And I didn't initially plan on buying them. They were specifically made for a C43, and the shop was selling them for a blowout price because it was a cancelled customer order. And for the price they were selling them for, I just couldn't turn them down. And so I ended up switching out. It made financial sense because I was able to sell the C63 forged wheels, recover all of my investment cost, and then these wheels I got for such a crazy deal. It was a no-brainer. I mean, these wheels, in my opinion, suit the car better, even though I'm fighting not my hate for black wheels, but definitely something I was trying to avoid on this car. But now that I have these on the car, there's no regrets of switching them out because I think it just matches the best. You know, if I'm being honest with myself, even though black wheels, like I said, I was trying to stay away from that, they do definitely match the best. With all of the gloss black I have, the bumper accents, the double stacked lips at the front, the A63 fender trims, the roof is black, the side mirrors are black, the side skirts are all black. So, yep, having to just live with the black wheels even though they're hard work to keep clean. But the front's looking really good now that these winglets are added. It just adds a little bit of extra hot sauce to the front. Just a little bit. So the specs on these wheels are identical to the VS forged wheels that I had. So they're a 19 by 8.5 on the fronts with a 30 offset. And they're a 19 by 9.5 with a 45 offset on the rears. And that puts you at flush. You can't go any more aggressive than this without being outside of the fender with some poke. You cannot go any more aggressive than this unless you're somebody that's happy with poking wheels, which is not to my taste. I want it as aggressive as possible right on the edge of the fender, but without the poke. This car is not lowered, by the way. It is stock suspension. And we have the Brabus rear spoiler, the C63S style diffuser. So the back of the car is looking pretty meaty. I mean, look at that. It's a pretty good angle right there. I like the gloss black fender, kind of scoops. And yeah, the trim in black, the spoiler in black, the diffuser in black. Now the wheels are gloss black, the side skirts are black. I mean, everything's definitely matching up really nicely now. And I love the concave that you get on the back of the Vossens. Yeah, that's a good look. I'm happy with that. So yeah, so that's the exterior as far as where we're sitting at things right now. I did do another pretty good mod to the car, so we'll go ahead and yeah, we'll go ahead and take a look at the next mod now. So, this car is a 2016 model. Can you tell me what looks out of place for a 2016? Yep, it's the steering wheel. So let's take a seat and see what I installed. So this right here is a 2019 model AMG steering wheel. It has the leather upper and lower, the Alcantara side grips, white stitching, and a white leather top stripe, and the kind of brushed silver controls, paddle shifters, and lower AMG trim. So this steering wheel was a complete plug and play upgrade. It came complete with the motherboard. That's kind of the electrical, I don't know what you would call it, the electrical communication point, I guess you could say, between the car and the steering wheel. It came with that pre-installed. So this couldn't have been any more of a straightforward upgrade for the car. So I'll show you with the functionality of it, and we'll talk a little bit more about it. Okay, so the car is on. We'll go ahead and use the scroll function to quieten down the volume. I'll close the door here so it's not too loud with the exterior sound. So all of the buttons on this steering wheel are 100% functional. The home button here, for example, takes you to your main menu. You can then use this little touchpad here to scroll down and up as you need to, and then clicking it in selects, and then you can return back to the menu if you need to. These buttons here, which are for the cruise control, because the older style models have the cruise on this little stalk here, this is a duplication of that function for the cruise control, so it's not used on the steering wheel. So what ends up happening is these are just a replication of these. So these do all of your main commands with the volume, and toggle it up and turn it down, and you can do everything else that you need to with the home, the volume, the home, the return, the scrolling buttons, etc. Which is actually really nice, because the cruise control function isn't something that you use very frequently. So this gives you the ability to operate the main controls with either your left or your right hand, depending on, you know, whether you've got a coffee in your hands or whatever it is that you're doing. You can use either side of the steering wheel for all of the main controls, which is awesome. So I'll switch the engine off and talk a little bit more. So obviously this car with its 2016 steering wheel had the old style kind of triangular shaped buttons and the older style airbag, which is kind of like a diamond shape. So this came complete with the airbag unit, with everything pre-installed. Full disclosure, I did not buy this straight from a manufacturer. I bought this from a third party. I actually bought it from somebody that was demodding their car. They'd bought it brand new. It had been installed on the car for only a few weeks, and then they decided to sell the car. And so they removed this, and I managed to snatch it up. And I wasn't sure whether it was going to be a plug-and-play fitment, because this was actually spec'd for a 2017 C43. Obviously, my car is a 2016 C450, so I was slightly concerned that the electrical motherboard might not be a plug-and-play fitment for my computer, that maybe the car might throw an error code once I'd installed this and, you know, connected everything up. That was not the case. I literally disconnected the battery, swapped the steering wheel out, which took maybe 10 minutes, and absolutely no messages on the dash once I connected everything back up. As I've shown you, all of the controls work, the paddle shifters work. So it was absolutely piece of cake. So for anybody who has anything or any similar ideas about upgrading their 2016, just so you know, the 2017 wheel, the upgrade option, is identical with regard to the electronics. The 2016 C450 works exactly the same as the 2017 C43. One note is I do not have the vibrating lane assist on this steering wheel. So if you do have the lane assist, then you would have to choose, you know, make sure that you spec that when you order a custom wheel. So, but yeah, I mean, that's really all there is to it. I honestly underestimated how much of a change this was going to make in the car. It has just knocked years off the car. It feels so much newer having this in your hands when you're driving. Really, really, really pleased with it. And so obviously this car, having its full performance pack interior that I transplanted into this about 18 months ago, and with the factory Mercedes carbon center console that I installed, everything is coming together. It is looking like an absolute beast on the inside now. I'm so happy with it. So that is the modification for the interior. I'll take a step out. I mean, that's a nice place to be right there. That's a nice cockpit. Absolutely over the moon with how it's turned out. So there she is. That's how it sits as of right now. I do have more mods planned for this coming couple of months. I will be videoing, and once again, thanks again for tuning in. I appreciate anybody who has an interest in seeing what I'm doing with this car. I greatly appreciate you watching the videos, and I'll be back with you really soon.